Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our Chan class in the U.S. here. Any questions and comments? Okay, as we're nearing another year of practice together in this community, I am reminded how much of a privilege to be able to practice with you, because you all have been working hard and improving. So that makes me very happy. And the reason for that. The reason for that is because since day one, we followed the teaching principles of Chinese Chan, in particular Chinese YongHua, and that provided the foundation for us. And over the years, since the last 5 to 7 years, we upped the ante, we cranked it up a little bit more, and went a little bit beyond Chinese Chan. That's why we called it American YongHua. And you all responded very, very well. But the principles are still the same. We are all afflicted by the 3 poisons. The three poisons are greed, anger, and stupidity. That's the root source of all the sufferings in the world. This is what makes us miserable. Okay? Makes us unhappy. And in order for us to rise above it, we need to practice what the Buddha preached. He preached about precepts or morality, samadhi, and wisdom. Specifically to counter the 3 poisons. So if you are prone to greed, then you should pay attention to your morality. If you're prone to anger, then you should be practicing meditation, practicing samadhi a lot more, meditate a lot more. Meditation will reduce your anger. If you're not very bright and you want to become smarter, you have to learn about wisdom. You need to accrue wisdom. You need to unfold your wisdom. You all have this inherent wisdom called the Buddha wisdom, and our current state is only temporary. Eventually, you will be able to unfold your wisdom and wield your inherent wisdom. Okay, so our American Mahayana is geared towards doing that. We make no excuses. We call it American because for many reasons, one of which is results-oriented. American people, we don't make excuses. We don't deliver, we don't deserve to be here. Period. That's my attitude. I came from industry, I came from the commercial side, business side. So that's how I've been conditioned my entire career. You don't deliver, you don't deserve a job. You don't deliver, you don't deserve to have a company. Okay? And so that's what I like about the American culture. I came from Vietnam, where like in many, many developing countries, relationships matter. Who you know matters more than performance. That used to be the old days. And I came here, and lo and behold, I found that I had to deliver, otherwise I couldn't stay here. So I had to learn, I had to work on my skills to deliver. Same thing, same kind of entrepreneurship when I became a monk as well. Luckily for me, I went to a Chinese system, Master YongHua system, and Vietnamese system too. But the Chinese system is my primary field of training. Strawberry fields, if you will. And it's kind of brutal. The Chinese training system is very brutal. You walk in, you come in there, they don't tell you anything. The only thing you're supposed to do is obey orders. And for me, it's very difficult because I look down upon all of them. All of them. Unfortunately for me, okay? I said, you're not that well educated, you can't speak, you can't express yourself, you don't know anything, okay? And why are you telling me what to do, okay? And so it's very brutal, very difficult for me, okay? So I had to deliver, to stick around. Okay? So I had to obey orders, have to sneak around, do my things when they're not looking. A bad boy, you will, attitude. But ultimately, you can only. I was able to stay for so many years because I had to deliver something. Okay, so I taught at the high school there, and because many of the teachers there were not as well educated as I was, even though I hated children, I had the reputation to be a good teacher. You see how sad it was. What kind of teachers they had. And then they were in turmoil. They could not hold on to the principal. Principal was always complaining, saying, you're not paying me enough. Your stipend every month is not enough. I'm out of here. And no one wants to do it because it's a thankless job. So, and the principal didn't know what to do. And so I trained them. I got them together and trained them how to work together. So I earned my way. For 2 years as seated 10,000 Buddhas. Went to Long Beach Monastery. I earned my ways there on handling the kids and so forth. So I ended up doing a lot of things I always looked down upon. I do not like kids. I ended up teaching kids, training kids. So it's a lot of learning experience for me. But the bottom line here is America is if you don't deliver, you don't belong. Okay, so now we have our temple. We started 20 years ago, and we had to deliver since day one. We had no support whatsoever. So very simple. It's like starting a new business. With no capital, by the way. And so I had to deliver. My first income was $10, by the way. I taught meditation to my neighbor, who was a Caucasian guy. At the time, he was 74. I spoke to him for 2 hours. Okay, taught him 2 hours. The guy could not sit, could not meditate, could not even cross his legs. I talked to him for 2 hours. He stood up, and he gave me $10. He said, "What do I put here? What do I put this?" I said, "Oh, thank you so much. My first income of my career." And he came back the following week, brought the other neighbor, and together they gave me $5. So I made $15 in 2 weeks. And so didn't ask for it, mind you, okay? Purely on a donation basis. And so, because that's a Chinese tradition I learned, we're supposed to benefit society and not to be a parasite. And so over the years, I found that in order for me to stick around, I had to compete against my peers who had the credentials, who had the reputation. I started at very low bottom. They slandered me so bad, okay, that when people ask me about where you came from, I say, "Oh, my teacher is Master YongHua." They called him, his disciple, and say, "Who is he?" He said, "Oh, he's a bad dude. We rejected him." No, not true. I left. Okay. But anyway, so I had a bad reputation amongst the Chinese disciple of Master YongHua, so no support from them there, so I had to earn my way with everyone else. So we earn by helping you become better in your meditation, develop your meditation skills. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. We have a question from live chat.
Yes.
It's from Lena Cultivator. Hello, Master. Last weekend, you said true wisdom has 3 characteristics. 1 is deep. What are the other 2 again? Thank you.
Yeah, let's go back to something more meaningful than just my life story. Yeah? Okay. You asked for it, you got it. Okay. The nature of true wisdom, okay, have 3 characteristics, meaning that you really have great wisdom. We're not talking about small wisdom. We're talking about great wisdom. Okay. Great wisdom, you have, what was the first thing she said?
Deep. The first is deep.
Did I say deep? I went that deep already?
She says one of them was deep, was one of the characteristics.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Deep is one of the more difficult things to discuss. Okay, but since I discussed it last week already, I don't even know what I talked about. Anyone remembers? So I don't have to climb that mountain again. Deep is one of the hardest things to explain. Okay, good thing none of you pay attention. All right, because no one remembers. Oh, deep. Oh. Okay, so one aspect of great compassion, of wisdom, great wisdom is great compassion. Compassion. Okay, we shorten it to from great compassion to compassion. In Mahayana, it's only one compassion. That's great compassion. Nothing else would do. Okay, that's our gold standard. You will work towards great compassion. So that's the nature of it. If you have wisdom, naturally, you have compassion. So that's how you can gauge yourself. You have wisdom or not. Okay? Because instead of rejecting others, instead of criticizing others, instead of hurting others, all right? You see others suffering and you want to help provide relief for their suffering. Okay? And this is what we admire in Mahayana. Okay? We admire such people. We worship such people. One of the examples is my teacher, Master YongHua, has great compassion. Okay? And his level of compassion is so high. Great compassion has many levels as well. Okay? His great compassion level is so high that I have yet to meet a man who's like that in America. or anywhere so far. Okay, and so you can't go wrong there. If you practice Mahayana, I guarantee you, your compassion grows and grows and grows until it becomes great, unless you leave before that, okay? You fall off before that. 2 questions here. DTT.
Emitofuo Master. So Universal Worthy Bodhisattva has a second vow, which is to praise all Buddhas. Can I teach Evan to praise the Buddha, those verses in English?
Which verses are we talking about? Praise the Buddha, Hallelujah, something like that?
No, it's kind of long.
There are lots of praises for the Buddha all over, in sutras, in all sorts of sutras, in Buddhist songs. Which praise are you talking about? The reason is that whatever you teach your children have to make sense to them, has to help them.
Well, the verses I got was from CCTV website for all the Buddhas.
Dumb people.
Sorry. Otherwise, I can get it from all books too. So
what is the praise about?
The Shakyamuni Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, and Medicine Master Buddha praises.
Okay, you can show the text, and then we can talk about it. Okay. I need specifics. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, 2 over here.
Thank you, Master, for explaining great compassion can help relieve the suffering of others. I know I don't have great compassion, but I do try to cultivate the compassion that I'm capable of. Is there any instruction you can provide me or anyone, I'm happy to be the target, about a pragmatic way to demonstrate compassion that helps relieve the suffering of someone you love or care about that is, experiencing difficulties?
The thing about compassion, can we just drop the great for now, because it's like it's self-promoting. I have great compassion. We Buddhists have great compassion, you don't. It bothers me a little bit. Okay, so let's just use great compassion for us. Okay, and if people understand it as compassion, that's fine. But actually, for us, it's great compassion. There's some aspect of great compassion that we need to be clear about, and that we need to understand, so that we can develop it quicker. Another way to look at it is that we should avoid doing things that inhibits its development. Okay? And this is the nature of cultivation, by the way. Cultivation, if you think about in order to meditate or to cultivate, you simply read from the book. There are plenty of materials there, how to practice chant, how to practice reciting Buddha's name. Okay? And there are hundreds, at least billions of people are doing that all over the world. How far have they got? Not very far. Think about it. There are plenty of books on meditation. There are tons of books in Chinese language about Pure Land. Tibetan, that's what they do, practice mantras. How far have they got? Why is that? Why don't most people who practice meditation, especially the smart ones who can figure things out on their own, right? They pick up a book, they do research like I used to do. Okay, in this society, There are plenty of materials online and in books and libraries. Everything is available for you. Now it's AI as well. All you have to do is punch a few, key in a few things, and AI will do the research for you. Okay? So information is readily accessible, even more now than when I first started 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Okay, 30 years ago, I had to go, what is that bookstore that now it's defunct? Not Barnes and Nobles, but the other one?
Borders.
Borders, thank you so much. This is a man who knows his borders. I used to go to Borders and hang around there because I couldn't afford to pay for books. So I hang around there and to read books all day. Meditation books. They're like three different bookshelves of meditation. Okay, from all sorts of authors. Yes, sir. Did you?
Oh, I was just going to say, Master, I used to stack those bookshelves. It was one of the jobs you could get as an English major after you graduated, working at Borders booksellers.
I see how glamorous. And so you have tons of materials. And no one, back then I couldn't ask. I read books from Borders. I bought books that are not available at Borders and so forth, just to try to figure out what it takes to get the first dhyana. Okay, I'm very goal-oriented. In my practice, I said, meditation, you got to get the first dhyana. Okay? Unless you get the first dhyana, you don't even know what meditation is like. So I search and research to find the specific ways to get the first dhyana. I've been asked, how did you get the first dhyana? Did you get the first dhyana? How can I get there? No one bothered telling me. Okay? It's not even written in books. For the sake of those who have the same problems I had, let me share with you. I shared it already in the past. In order for you to get the first dhyana, very simple. Blessings. That's it. If you have blessings, you meditate, you get the first dhyana. It's that simple. This is why when I first started teaching meditation, it would be about 2 months to 3 months that our students will get in the first dhyana. So if they keep on coming, okay, to my place, okay, and practice meditation, they are accruing blessings. So naturally, within 2 months, within 3 months, they all enter first dhyana. It's automatic. That's how I figured out, okay, from teaching. It happened to me naturally because at my master's temple, I helped out and work. I accrue blessings that way, more than I used up my blessings. Therefore, eventually and naturally enters first dhyana, simply by meditation, simply by reciting Buddha's name, simply by doing ceremonies. It's that simple. Okay, guys? No secret to it. But no one ever was able to explain that in such simple terms. It's a recipe. You want to forget the first dhyana? Blessings. Create blessings. That's it. And so when people come in here, we teach you everything is geared towards creating blessings for you to get into first dhyana. And that's why everyone got into first dhyana, unless we throw them out first. Okay? And some people who don't deserve to be here, we're not going to train them. You don't encourage them to stay. Okay? And so what is that? The principle behind why there's so much information and people read so much, research so much, know so much, and yet they don't make progress. What is the problem? When these people come and learn meditation, they're creating blessings. At the same time, they also destroying their own blessings. Okay? And that's why they don't make much progress. Whether reciting Buddha's name, reciting mantras, reciting so forth, they don't make much progress. I've seen people practice Tibetan Buddhism. I've seen people practice Hinayana. I've seen people practice Pure Land. I've seen people practice chant, okay? And they didn't make much progress because they're working hard, but then they're also destroying their own blessings. So what's the secret? Why does it work for you and not for many people? Well, I've seen so many people reciting Buddha's name. I look at them and say, you recited for 20 years. Why are you so low? What is the matter with you? You're doing something wrong. Do you know that? I ask myself. I never dare to talk this way to people because it's none of my business. I just ask myself, what is it she's doing that's wrong? If I were to practice for 20 years and this had got to the level in the form realm, I'd be so angry. What is the matter with me? What's the matter with my teacher? So what's the secret? Yes, sir.
I believe it's not a secret. I believe it's pretty simple that you can practice giving. You have to give, and then that will create more blessings. So you're not running at a deficit.
Okay, very good. Almost there. Anyone else? Why is it you make progress faster than the others? And put it that way. How come your level is higher than my master's level? Why is that? Well, first of all, we teach more advanced techniques than he does. Okay, that's one thing. But it's a whole very big thing. Is yes, 5.
Emitofuo master. Is it a master?
It's a master, yes, the techniques and so forth. Yes, it's part of a master. Yes, it's part of the equation. What specifically is the secret ingredients? Yes, go for us.
Morning, Master. I don't know if somebody said it already, but I think believing in a good knowing advisor.
Okay, that's a principle. Yes, that's part of it. But more specifically, what is it? You see, you have it. You are benefiting from it, and you don't even know. For 20 years, we've been doing it for 20 years, and none of you really noticed. You see? Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. I think we follow the Master instruction.
Follow instruction. That's part of it. No, listen. You have fewer years than his disciples. Okay? Difference is that, yes, our techniques are more advanced, our chant techniques, our training are more advanced. For example, we do more certain teaching than he did. Okay? And then I lecture more advanced stuff than he did. Okay? True. Okay? But what is it that's a very important ingredient here? Yes, 3.
Is it morality?
Yeah, it's part of it. But it's very specific. Yes, 7.
We get live question Q&A.
Live question QA. Yes, that's part of it.
Live person sitting us with great samadhi.
Yes, that's part of it. What else? Specifically, yes, 2.
Thank you, Master. Is it our faith?
Well, faith, yes, that helps tremendously, but specifically, it's something that you don't notice.
The other aspect I was going to mention, is it our good roots?
That too. Anyone has $100, price $100 to encourage you to do well, to work harder, think harder. $100. Yes, 5. This is
Emitofuo, respecting.
not there. Yes, 2.
First of all, thank you for the prize, Master.
Now we're talking.
Is it because we eat more caca?
Eat more caca. It doesn't help all the time. It doesn't help all the time. Okay, unfortunately. Master Z, go for the prize? Unfair competitive advantage? Yes, sir? What is it?
So, Master, is that the teaching Master use for us is more adapted to the American culture than...
Yeah, okay, very good. 7 in the back?
One more try.
One more try.
How much we can enduring?
How much you can endure? That's very good. Okay, 5?
Is the level of everyone here because everyone is so high?
Yes, okay, part of that. One key ingredient. Okay, yes, ma'am. Try for 100.
That's okay. Thank you, Master. Is that because we come to temple every time, every day, every weekend, whenever we have time, cultivate together?
That helps tremendously, more than people realize. A lot more. You're much better off than the people who are doing it online. Definitely, absolutely. Okay, they do it online, they get a lot of great benefits as well, but it's no comparison versus coming in person. Let me assure you. Anyone else? What is a secret sauce here? Yes, 7. Second try.
Blessing.
Very good. She's been listening to lectures. That's excellent. Not quite there. Anyone? Want to give up? Today I save $100. Yes, 2.
Master, is it because Master teach us avoid making mistake?
He got $100. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. I just gave you a hint earlier already. You created blessings, okay, by coming to the temple. Okay, you come to any temple, you're creating blessings. No, we all the temples are helping you in that sense. You go and bow to Buddha, okay, you offer incense to the Buddha, you all do the same thing, right? You practice cross your legs, do the same thing, right? You recite mantras, we recite mantras everywhere, right? The difference is that my master is dead. And I'm still alive. So when I see you making mistakes that will destroy your own blessing you've been creating, I stop you. I say, hey, don't do that. And that's what happened. I give you a hint. You've been reciting Buddha's name for 20 years. But you recite Emitofuo, 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 okay? And then you walk by a nun, you say, you're so short and ugly. I don't like you. And you yell at her. You are destroying all the blessing is just done by creating a Buddha's name. So one step forward, two steps back. Because you insult the Buddha's representative, it's the same as insulting the Buddha. So you've been reciting Buddha's name, okay? But then you insult the Buddha, okay? You make an offering to the Buddha, and then you steal from the Buddha by stealing from a temple. Huh? So one step forward, two steps back. One step forward, one step back. Huh? Two steps forward, two steps back. You're always going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth like this. And you don't realize it. No one realizes it. It takes someone to say, hey, stop it. Even I did it this past few days. People still ask me stupid questions. Why do I have to stop? You idiot. I'll slap you in the face, you dare do that to me too often. I'm doing you a favor by stopping you from hurting yourself. When you dare question me, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to save you from yourself. You say, I don't know why I should do this. I'm trying to help you and now explain to you why. Who's the teacher here? That's what's lacking. My peers got ahead, but they committed a lot of offenses that brought them down. That's important. This community here, come to the community, join in the effort. You look around you, people are bound to tell you, oh, don't do this, don't do that. Right? You should do this, don't do that. That's very, very important. Okay? And when you get to a level where I begin to pay attention to you, because low level, you should be able to learn from each other. High level, they cannot see your mistakes anymore. That's when I intervene. That's the difference. You pay attention, you listen, you'll be saved. You'll be safe. You don't pay attention, you don't believe, not my problem. Don't say I don't care. I've done my job. I give you the warning. I give you instructions. You don't listen, it becomes your problem. If I say it, see it, I don't say anything, it's my problem. The ones I've said it, and you don't listen, it becomes your problem. I'm done. Okay? It's the same principle about those who get rich. They make money, but they also learn how not to lose it. Yeah? Because you can make as much as you want, money as you want, but if you spend it all, you ain't going to get rich. Same principle. It's so clear, and yet people don't pay attention. You think you can figure it out? Huh? You can't. You cannot see behind your back as proof. Right? That's the same thing. You cannot see the fatal mistakes you're making that will inhibit you from making progress. Worse yet, some mistakes you're making will make you spiral on a death, decaying spiral. That's what happened to my peers. They're decaying and decaying and decaying and decaying because of offenses. No one is above it, okay? The practice, the spiritual path, you do it right, you soar naturally. But if, on the other hand, you do it wrong, you will fall. It's up to you. You think you can figure it out? I have bad news for you. You can't. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master, for all of that instruction and guidance. So I just wanted to follow up and ask, how can I exhibit compassion that helps reduce the suffering of someone in my family who's going through a difficulty?
That's along the same line here. The first thing you do in order to develop compassion is not to minimize it, not to reject people's suffering. That's the first requirement. You don't see an illegal alien suffering so much right now, and on top of it, throw him out. That's no compassion whatsoever. If you indulge in that, you will never develop compassion, for example. So the first thing is do not reject people. Okay? Do not intentionally hurt people even when they're wrong. That will destroy any chance of you developing your compassion. Okay? We all make mistakes. And we will always make mistakes until we become a Buddha. That's the sad truth about us. We have limitations, we have blind spots, we have stupid habits, okay? We get fooled. We make mistakes. That's part of our learning process. We make mistakes, and we recover, we learn. We don't recover, we die. That's life. Okay? And so people make mistakes, and guess what? We suffer. We all suffer because of it. We all suffering. So don't add more to people's suffering. That's the first requirement. Okay? So you see someone suffer, you make sure that you don't add to the suffering. Okay? Number one. Number two, you have to feel the suffering. Okay? If you don't feel the suffering, you can't really help them relieve the suffering, can you? And this is what Bodhisattvas do in particular. They roll up their sleeves, get down on the mud with us so that they know what it's like to suffer. It's not theory. They don't simply sit in the Babel towers and look down upon us and, oh, you poor things, I feel for you. No, they get down into the trenches with us and struggle with us. Why? Because they want to feel our suffering, folks. So when you see people suffering, spend time with them. Hang out with them. Don't try to help. How about just sharing the suffering? Experiencing the suffering. It means so much. It shows how much you care. To find out how bad it hurts. Okay? And number three, you hurt. You're hurting yourself. That's the reality of it. If you hang around depressed people, you will become depressed. Guaranteed. Okay? You hang around manic people, you become manic yourself. Hang around crazy people, you become Catholic. Daniel not here, right? So we're safe. Okay. Okay, so when you are near suffering, you're going to hurt so much, you need to recover. Learn to recover. Meditate. You develop a skill to recover. Okay? And when you recover there, that's when naturally step number 4 comes naturally. You understand how to provide relief. Until 4, you have this sense of connection. You build the trust. You build sharing. You build caring. And that's why when you decide to do something, to provide relief. It works very, very well. It's very well received. Okay? And finally, we can't help them all. We can't. So we will try our best. That's all we got. And that's good enough. That's all we have. Yeah?
Thank you so much, Master. That's really helpful. If I say back to you what I heard, there's no such thing as armchair suffering relief. You know, you can't help them from behind a desk or over a phone. Engaging in their situation will show them that I care, and that by me engaging in that situation, I need to be able to have a tool, which you've given me, to relieve my own intake of that suffering, but also I'll gain insight into ways that can help relieve it more by being there.
If you suffer and you're able to relieve your own suffering, then you can use the same thing. Try to use the same thing for the victim.
Thank you so much.
Okay. 6.
Thank you, Master. There's a question here on YouTube from Louis XU2DY. Shifu, Emitofuo, I have a question. If my kids have a good friend, but the parents have bad virtue, can I still let my kids be friends with their kids? Thank you.
Of course you can, as long as you watch over your kids and make sure that he or she does not pick up the bad habits. You don't have to be, paranoid about it. Kids have a way of recovering and learning very, very fast. It's about you adults who do not need to be overprotective. Number 1 rule, if hanging around with the friends is a harmful thing, that will provide physical harm and mental harm to your kid, absolutely not. Okay. However, it's like playing or just kids hanging out and so forth. It's okay, as long as you watch over it, make sure that your kid is stable. Okay. And that's how not just helping the other kid, but also just hanging out with the kids, but also helping the other kid by providing stability from you through your kids to that friend. Okay? Don't be scared. I'm not scared, okay, at all. We learn both ways, by learning from the good as well as learning from the bad. My experience is more learning from the bad, so that I don't do what they do. Yes, any other question here? Yes, 2 in the back.
Thank you, Master. With the Peter question, how do you know when to withdraw when you deal with people who are manic or depressed? When is the clue so that I don't get overwhelmed?
If you're overwhelmed, it's time to withdraw. Okay? If it's too much, then the way you help is to ask others to help. You can't help, then get out. Because if you don't get out, you are not helping, and you're actually making it worse for them, because they are the cause of your problems. So withdrawing is a form of helping. Back hand way, okay? All right, so great compassion there. So you naturally develop great compassion because wisdom naturally will feel compassion, okay? And again, will you avoid doing things that inhibits the development of compassion, okay? Be careful about that. And finally, the third component, which is true. Okay, so the three aspects of great wisdom is, number one is deep, number two is compassionate, and number three is true. Okay, the true implication here is very, very important. If you want to get to great wisdom, you have to be true and more true. What does it mean to be more true? I know you're true already. How do you become truer? At least I know you believe you're true already. I love you. I love you. You have to learn to be truer. How? Go for it.
You just don't be untruthful to yourself.
Correct. Okay. That's correct. That's the foundation. Okay. When you are untruthful, you know immediately. You're the first one to say, Okay? You're the first one who knows it's not true. Your victim may not know it, but you know yourself. Okay? You have to listen to yourself. Be true to yourself. Do not try when you say, that's not true, and you ignore it. That's the problem. The problem, that's where it hides. And that's why you will never develop wisdom. So I see people who are not truthful by nature. Okay? I know I can go so far with them. I'll give you an example. Okay? I've taught many people in the last 2 decades. And they get to very good, they make progress and they did all the right things, and they get to the level there, okay, to pretty advanced level, okay, for Hinayana perspective, you know what I mean, okay? So Hinayana levels is pretty advanced as far as Hinayana is concerned, okay? But when you get to the level there, and I don't dare tell you that level because this is top secret, okay? It's for teachers only, some teachers only even, okay? Because I don't trust all you teachers. Because you're going to quit and leave me one of these days and I take my secrets with you and start a new school. The point being that you get to that level there, okay? And I said, it's going to catch up with you. You've been pretending, you've been pulling my legs, I let you. And now you have to face the music. And sure enough, she ran away. As soon as I touched it, she ran away. Because, see, if you stick around, I will have to tap you a little bit on the shoulder and say, how are you today? Okay, and you say, oh, too close. You run away. Do not want to be discovered. So, the wisdom stops. Cannot go further. Okay? That's how damaging it is for you when you're untruthful and you continue to be untruthful. And guess what? For us Westerners, 21st century people, as long as we get away with it, why not, right? You can't. You cannot get away from your untrue self, and you're hurting yourself. That's all. You may con others, may succeed in scamming others, and make a lot of money, okay? But you're sinking, and you will get so poor. You'll be destitute, and you cannot keep your money. And that's Buddhist wisdom. You can't win when you're untrue. Okay? A little bit of untrue, you will suffer. And ultimately, this is why, in order to be truer, okay, what do? When your little mind says, "Oh, that's not true. Oh, is it true?" That's when you think, look carefully, think again, and cut it out. That's how you become truer. Only you can do that. No one else can do it for you. I can only tickle you. I can only tap you on the shoulder, tap in the head, okay? But you have to decide for yourself that you want to be truer for your own sake. It's not something that will bring you adoration, money, and recognition, okay? But will bring you wisdom and happiness. It's your choice. Okay? Time is up. Thank you, everyone.